do great. Hello and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Bill Gray Legion Stadium at Champion Car Wash Field as we get ready to bring you Roseburg High School baseball. Today we get ready to begin the Southwest Conference season as the Roseburg Indians welcome in the South Eugene Axe. It's a beautiful day for baseball as the Indians at 1-2 on the season look to get back in the win column and start off conference play on the right foot. On the other side, it's South Eugene coming in at 1-1 on the season, looking to start out conference play with a victory as well. Looking forward to a good one here today, and we've got beautiful weather to make it happen. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Joey Keyran. Happy to be with you here for another broadcast of Roseburg High Sports on the Score. This is the Roseburg Disposal pregame show. You can let them make the run to the dump for you. Give them a call at 673-7122. As we get ready for today's matchup, we're going to get a chance to catch up with head coach Troy Thompson to preview today's contest, and we'll take a look at how these two teams got to where we are today with Roseburg at 1-2 and South Eugene at 1-1. Plenty to discuss here as we get ready for first pitch. Want to remind everybody today's game is streaming live with video online at 541radio.com and on our YouTube channel. Search 1490 The Score on YouTube. You'll find our channel there. You'll find all of our broadcasts, today's live stream, as well as all of our archives. You can hit the subscribe button to follow Roseburg High Sports throughout the rest of the school year. You can set it up to get notifications and all of that as you watch there on our YouTube channel. It is presented by the Cow Creek Tribe. We'll go ahead and get in our first 2-minute timeout here of the pregame show. When we come back, we're going to get a chance to catch up with head coach Troy Thompson. Roseburg baseball coming up for you here on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
For over 100 years, Douglas County Farmers Co-op has been serving the needs of farmers, ranchers, and homeowners throughout Southern Oregon. Here, everyone is welcome. When you shop with us, you can expect good people, good products, and good advice. No membership needed. Just bring yourself, and we'll provide the expertise and products you need to tackle your next project. Douglas County Farmers Co-op, where everyone is welcome to shop.
When the first Cascade branch opened in 1948, things were a lot different here. The fact they're still here says a lot about the way they do business.
Staying in business for 75 years requires the cooperation of generations. It's the desire to learn and grow with your community.
My account number is only 5 digits long. What that tells me is that this is a local credit union.
Cascade Community Credit Union would like to thank you for 75 years of growth and support here in Douglas County.
Back here with more of our Roseburg Disposal pregame show. You can let them make the run to the dump for you. Give them a call at 673-7122. Beautiful day for some baseball as the Roseburg Indians are back at home here at Champion Car Wash Field. And believe it or not, it's time for the start of conference play. And joining us here to talk about today's matchup is Coach Troy Thompson here. Coach, well, boy, 3 games in the books, and it's already time for conference play. It's nothing new. It's been like this for a little while now. But, yeah, is it one of those things that you just kind of got to bite the bullet and that's the way it is? Or, would you prefer to maybe be able to see a little bit more action before you start to get these conference games underway?
Well, you got to play them as they come to you, and that's what the league has done here like you said, last couple of years. So, yeah, it seems like it's early, and with just the 3 games last week, it is early as far as, trying to set lineups and give guys opportunities and having chances, but it's time to go in league play, and we'll certainly do that today and look forward to the opportunity here this week with South Eugene at home here today, and then Grants Pass coming in this weekend on Saturday for a double. So, yeah, it's here right now, and we're going to go. Fortunately, the sun's out, and it's a nice day, so we'll have a chance to get on it.
We've talked about it many times about how the league schedule sets up a Tuesday and then a Saturday doubleheader, and that kind of gets you guys into a rhythm. And it's a number of games in a week's period, but you guys had a busy week 1. How do you feel like the team's faring after having a number of games in a short period of time to kick off the season?
It felt like a short week and a long week at the same time with the Tuesday, Thursday, Friday singles. Fortunately, 2 at home, so that was nice. And then the long road trip, obviously, on Friday up to Lake Oswego was a tough end to the week in a lot of regards. But we're fortunate to get them in, the games in, and, the weather held for us to do that. So that part was a good step. And then to get the 21 innings in, we got. So, we're learning as we go right now. And like I said, with lineups and matchups and, guys fighting hard for opportunities. So we're glad we got all 3 of them in. Felt good about how we came through it. And hopefully this week we come out and have the same opportunity with 3 games this week, a little different setup and a few more days off in between. But no, last week it was good to have the opportunity to get on the field and play as much as we did. And that part was good.
Anything solidified after 3 games? I mean, I know you guys will always be looking at ways to make yourselves better, but do you feel in any positions that you guys are confident, you feel like that's the way it's going to be as the season continues to progress along?
Oh, I think we'll be a work in progress as we go, position-wise and batting order and things like that can certainly change and always seem to change. So we've got to be aware of that. We're not going to be set in our spots, at this point, and hopefully by mid-season or toward the end of the year, you get to that point where you're comfortable with your lineups, and who's on the mound kind of dictates who's going to be, where sometimes. So, and that's where we're at. But we had some good innings on the mound last week, and hopefully this week that plays true as well, and we'll set our defense behind it, and hopefully our offense can continue to grow and produce opportunities to score runs.
I know, everybody's kind of in the same situation where they haven't played a ton of games as of yet. But as we gear up for the start of conference play, I wanted to find out kind of your impressions about what we're looking at this year in the Southwest Conference. I know it's always a very difficult league to be successful in because the competition week in and week out is always tough. What are you kind of seeing from the rest of the conference as you guys gear up for the start of Southwest Conference play?
Well, and looking back to, last year and how it played out, I think league-wise, top to bottom, will once again be very competitive, very strong. There are a number of arms returning for a number of teams, so it always kind of starts with pitching. So several teams returned some guys that saw big innings for them and had great success for them last year. So I think the league on its own is going to have some good arms up and down the schedule. So that's exciting. At the same time, you better be ready to play every time you step on the field in a league game, because they're going to have some guys on the mound that can do some things. So I think league will be up. I always say that. I understand that, but that's honestly my feel. Coming into this year, we've got some nice returners down in Medford for North and for South. Grants Pass returns a host of good players that saw a lot of significant innings for them last year, and obviously the Eugene schools with Sheldon, South Eugene, and Willamette are always competitive and always good clubs. So once again, I think the league from top to bottom will be very competitive and very good.
Particularly the South Eugene club here today, looking kind of just based off of what you know about them from last year and maybe the little bit you've learned about them here this year. What are we looking into as we get ready to take on the Axe today?
Well, new coach for South Eugene here today. First season as a head coach. It was an assistant for them for years and had the opportunity and got the head job. So he's here as a head coach for the first time. And, we don't know much. They played twice last week is about what we know. They split. And we don't have that much of an idea on what it is they're going to try to do, nor do we pay real close attention to what anybody else is going to do. We've talked about that too. And we're going to be concerned about ourselves and trying to improve our style and our pace of play, and remaining consistent on the mound and playing good defense behind it leads to good things for us offensively. So it's got to start there, and hopefully today that will be the case. South Eugene, I think they return a number of players from last year, and I think they have some new players moving into some key spots. So I think we'll be a lot smarter here after about 7 innings, because I'm not sure what we're going to see. I'm hopeful what we're going to see on our side, and that's continued improvement and aggressive approach at the plate and toward the game. So hopefully that plays out here today.
All right, Coach, looking forward to it. Thanks so much for the time.
Thanks, Joey.
And that is Coach Troy Thompson joining us here in the Roseburg Disposal pregame show as we count down to this one just about getting underway. Roseburg is coming off of a tough one, their worst loss of the season, although it is a young season. A 10-1 loss on the road against Lake Oswego. Roseburg led 1-0 after the top of the first, but then Lake Oswego took a 3-1 lead in the bottom of the first and ran away with 6 runs in the bottom of the fourth to put up a big victory over Roseburg, 10-1 in that one. On the other side, that was back on Friday last week. On the other side, last Friday, South Eugene was on the road against North Eugene as they played their sort of crosstown rivals in that matchup. Never trailed did South Eugene as they pull away for a 14-8 win in that one. It was quite the ball game. A number of unearned runs in that one, but decent hitting through the book there for the South Eugene Axe. They're going over the ground rules down on the field. We need to get in our final 2-minute timeout here on the pregame show, so we'll go ahead and try to do that here right now. This is Roseburg Baseball. We'll be back with a look at your starting lineups between Roseburg and South Eugene. That's coming up after this 2-minute timeout here on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Mountain Mike's Pizza, the way it ought to be.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Oregon, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Do I have enough money put away to retire?
Plan for your future with confidence. At Palm Wealth Management, we'll help you see a clear path to financial peace of mind. Call Palm Wealth Management today.
Brook Communications radio stations have joined forces with the News Review and Lotus Web Services, announcing the Lotus Media Group, a multimedia enterprise. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with LotusMediaGroupLLC.com.
Find everything you need to enjoy the outdoors, at home or on the road, at Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Our garden center has what you need to create an oasis at home, from patio furniture to plants and everything in between. And whether you're barbecuing at home or tailgating at the game, we stock the best products from Yeti, Traeger, and Weber. Stop by or shop online at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
Back here at Champion Car Wash Field in Roseburg, the Indians will take the field, and it's time now to take a look at our starting lineup for the South Eugene Axe. The visiting Axe out of the Southwest Conference in Eugene, our first opponent in conference play, led by head coach Elijah Simons. It's his first year as the head coach of the program, but he has been an assistant with the Axe through the last few years. His starting 9 will have Landon Lay leading things off, playing in center field, followed by the catchers, Tavo Santiago. Matt Ledoux is the pitcher. He'll bat third. Gavin Bush at shortstop will be batting cleanup, followed by left fielder Brendan Van Ryzen. Dylan Stevens is the right fielder. He will bat in the 6th position. Hitting 7th and playing at third base is Gabe Garcia. At first base, Zev Moses is batting 8th, and rounding out the starting 9 will be the DH, Simon Warren. Warren will bat for the second baseman, Tommy France. That's a look at your starting lineup for the visiting South Eugene Axe. On the defensive side of the ball for Roseburg, on the mound will be right-hander Jake Johnson. The junior has 1 start under his belt so far, pitched 6 innings, picked up a loss, unfortunately, in a tough one against West Salem to start the year. He allowed 4 hits, 6 runs, but none of them earned, 1 walk and 6 strikeouts in that one. So he has an ERA of 0.00, a whip of 0.83, but he's got an 0-1 record on the season, looking to get that first win of the year. Behind the plate is Amos Bowers catching for Roseburg. Around the diamond defensively at first base is Camden Hartzell. At second, Paxton Burke. On the left side of the diamond, Cash Richardson at third base and Brooks Avery at short. In the outfield from left to right, Brayton Loomis, Heath King, and Dane St. Clair. That's a look at today's starting lineup for both of our teams as we get ready for the top of the first inning here on 541radio.com and on The Score. And today's video broadcast brought to you by the Cow Creek Tribe. Wrapping up the Roseburg Disposal pregame show there and ready for the first pitch. It'll be the right-hander Landon Lay to lead things off. Lay will take the first pitch for strike 1, and we are underway in today's ball game at 4:31. Behind the plate, Tom Nelson calling balls and strikes for us here today. The 0-1 pitch, breaking ball, just a bit inside for Johnson. For Jake, his first start since that season opening loss, 6-2 against West Salem. Hits the outside corner, a ball, 2 strikes for Landon Lay, the center fielder. With a 1-2. Ground ball up the middle. It will get in. A 2-strike pitch taken right back up the middle to center field. Landon Lay will start things off with a base knock for the South Eugene Axe.
Next batter will be the catcher, number 3, Cabo.
Landon Lay, a returning player for the South Eugene team. He was a second-team All-Southwest Conference utility player a year ago. Finds his way on base to get things started for the Axe. Pickoff throw to first base will not be in time. Tavo Santiago, he is a returning first-team All-Conference selection. Santiago at the catcher position today. He was a first-team All-Conference catcher a year ago. He takes fastball outside for ball 1. Santiago, senior for this Axe squad. Runner going, throw back down to first base will not be in time. Hartzell applying the tag as he gets back to the bag. So does Landon Lay. Goes back in with the headfirst slide ahead of the tag from Hartzell. The 2-0 pitch, high and inside. Count goes to 3-0 against the number 2 hitter. The South Eugene team last year went 7-18 overall. They finished at 3-15 in conference play. They were in last place in the Southwest Conference. The 3-0 pitch finds the strike zone. They did not make the playoffs a year ago and went 0-3 in games against Roseburg. 3-1 pitch, grounder, chop third base. Richardson bobbles it, bobbles again, will not make a play. Errors came back to haunt Roseburg in that loss against West Salem last time Jake Johnson was on the mound, and there's the first one of the game today. Since that game, Roseburg's played pretty clean and did not have an error in their loss against Lake Oswego, but they'll have their first one here today. At third base, Richardson looking to try and get that double play started and fumbled the baseball. Did not get a chance to get it out of the glove. On his second attempt to try and get it out cleanly, dropped it and just did not have a chance to get it out at either base. At the plate now, Matt Ledoux, the pitcher, batting with runners at first and second and nobody out. He slaps one right side. That ball hooks into the bullpen down the right field line. That'll be strike one for Ledoux. So South Eugene, an opportunity to try and put a run on the board here in the first inning. A 1-1 count with nobody out, runners at first and second. And the pitcher looking to help his own cause. Ledoux, a senior catcher-pitcher combo. 1-1 option. Takes a breaking ball at the knees on the inner half. Ledoux, according to my research, has committed to Chemeketa Community College for baseball next year. So 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed. He got fooled with the high breaking ball and a big strikeout there for Jake Johnson. Very important, get that first out. Now with runners at first and second, you've got the opportunity for the double play to get out of the jam here in the first inning. And don't let any of the damage so far come back to haunt you. Gavin Bush is the shortstop. He bats cleanup. With 1 out and 2 on, he takes the first pitch outside corner for strike one. The strikeout there by Jake Johnson, the first of the game. Strikeouts are brought to you by Chris Hubbard State Farm Insurance. The 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed for strike two. Hey, when disaster strikes, it's good to have someone in your corner that you can trust. That is Chris Hubbard with State Farm Insurance, 541-672-3301. You can also visit chrisinsures.com for a free quote today. The 0-2 pitch popped up, foul territory, giving chase. Hartzell will run out of room as that ball ends up in the grandstands behind the first base dugout, where the South Eugene Axe are occupying. Some of their fans sitting back behind the dugout, sporting their South Eugene purple back there. The 0-2 again for Johnson. Breaking ball did not miss by much. A little low, maybe a bit inside, off the edge of the plate to the right-hander Bush. Gavin Bush, an honorable mention all-league infielder last year for the Axe. The 1-2, he hits it, a slow roller towards third, picked up by Richardson, over to Hartzell for the out. 2 away, runners both move up 90 feet. The nature of that ground ball made it difficult for Richardson to have any other options besides trying to get Bush at first base. So that allowed both runners in front of Gavin Bush at first and second. They both move up. You've got Santiago at second and Lay at third. A first pitch swinging for Brendan Van Risen. Fouled away over the right side for strike one. Van Risen in left field to start out the day today, batting fifth. He's got an opportunity to try and drive in a run here with 2 away. 1 hit, 1 error so far here in this first inning for South Eugene. A pitch in the dirt behind the plate. Bowers gloves it to keep it in front of him. Deep backstop here at Champion Car Wash Field. Pass balls easily allow runners to move up in most cases. The 1-1. Check swing. Held up is the call. 2 balls and a strike for Van Risen. They appeal and the call is changed, overturned to a strike on the check swing. So Van Risen, Brendan Van Risen with a 1-2 count against Jake Johnson. Johnson gets him to pop this one, skies it into the air, out in the sun in right field, calling for it. Dane St. Clair makes the catch, and that'll retire the side. Out of the jam are the Roseburg Indians. For Roseburg, defensively, they do not give up a run for South Eugene. No runs, 1 hit. There was 1 Roseburg error. 2 men left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the first. We'll get you a look at the Roseburg starting lineup when we return on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
No runs on a hit. There was 1.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Bottom of the first inning, scoreless ball game here between Roseburg and South Eugene. Let's take a look at today's starting lineup for the Indians, put together by head coach Troy Thompson in his 22nd year leading the program. Leading things off is Brooks Avery, the shortstop, followed by Paxton Burke at second base. Dane St. Clair, the right fielder, will bat third. The pitcher, Jake Johnson, batting in the cleanup position, followed by first baseman Camden Hartzell. Batting sixth and starting at third base, Cash Richardson. The left fielder, Brayton Loomis, will bat seventh. At the catcher spot is Amos Bowers, batting eighth. And rounding out the starting nine will be the center fielder, Heath King. And that is a look at your starting lineup for the Roseburg Indians. We'll welcome you back here for the bottom of the first. On the mound will be Matt Ledoux for the South Eugene Axe. Matt Ledoux, a right-hander, listed at 5'11", as he takes his final warm-up pitch. Behind the plate catching, Tavo Santiago. In the infield, at first base, Zev Moses. At second base, Tommy France. On the left side of the diamond, Gabe Garcia and Gavin Bush at third and short. And in the outfield from left to right, Brendan Van Ryzen, Landon Lay, and Dylan Stevens. That's a look at your starting lineup for the Axe. Working out of the stretch with nobody on. First pitch from Ledoux. Bounces just in front of the plate for ball one to Brooks Avery. Avery starting at the plate for Roseburg. Leadoff man once again. He's been in that spot every game. He's got the 1-0 count. Belts one in the air right side. That heading into shallow right field. Tough ball to play, but the catch is made by Dylan Stevens. Right field always an adventure, especially these afternoon games where the sun is in your eyes at pretty much every spot out there in the right side of the diamond. First base, second base, right field. And so those balls high into the afternoon air, they can be tough, especially on a kind of a hazy blue sky for us here today. First pitch swinging for Paxton Burke is belted out to the parking lot for strike one with one away and nobody on. Conditions, though, are ideal for baseball, especially here in early March. The 0-1 pitch. In for a strike called against Burke. Looking at 66 degrees in Roseburg. Might bump up a degree or two here as we make our way towards 5 o'clock, but a very comfortable day at the ballpark. Strike three called on the inside corner against Burke. He'll have to head back to the dugout. First strikeout victim in the game for Matt Ledoux. 2 down. That'll bring up Dane St. Clair. We just saw Burke, a left-handed hitter. St. Clair also bats from the left side. So he gets a quick piece of advice on the upcoming at-bat from first base coach Tim Sester. Coach Thompson is down the third base side. Coach Zach Mandera in the dugout. 2 away, nobody on base. St. Clair trying to get something started against Ledoux, and he takes the first pitch for a strike on the inside corner. St. Clair had the only RBI in the game against Lake Oswego on Friday. Drove in a run in the first inning, and then Roseburg shut out the rest of the way. Inside to the lefty. Looked as if St. Clair was kind of expecting that ball was about to hit him in the leg, the shin. The 1-1 pitch from Ledoux. That ball belted right center, drops down, base knock. Dane St. Clair has himself a hit with 2 outs here in the first inning. Drops into right center field. Shallow in the outfield grass there for Dane. Gets himself on. 2 down. Roseburg with a runner on base, but they'll have to battle from the 2-out position. St. Clair at first, Jake Johnson batting. Ledoux really attacking that inside edge of the plate. I think that might have been the word of advice from Coach Astaire, is to try and get around on that inside pitch. Trying to attack that same corner of the plate there for Ledoux, but this time it's on the outside edge to Jake Johnson, but it carries just a bit too far outside. 1-0 count. Jake looking to help his own cause here. 1-0 delivery from Ledoux. He steps off, throws over to first base. Back in goes St. Clair. A lot of room in foul territory behind first and third base for balls that might get by on a pickoff throw or a throw in from the outfield. The 1-0 for Johnson. Misses outside. The ball goes behind the catcher, Santiago. Easily into second base. Will go St. Clair. That'll help out Roseburg. Pass ball moves the runner up 90 feet. St. Clair out to second base. And now Roseburg a man in scoring position and an opportunity to try and drive him in here for Jake Johnson, looking at a 2-0 pitch coming up. Time was called before the pitch by Ledoux. Nope. 2 balls, no strikes. St. Clair at second base with a healthy lead, held on by France, the second baseman. There's a strike on the outside corner to make it 2-1 for Jake Johnson. Jake at the plate this season, looking for the first hit of his year. He's had 9 at-bats so far. Still looking for the first hit. The 2-1 delivery. This would be a good time to get it right here. Takes low and outside. 3-0, or 3-1. Jake has drawn 2 walks on the season so far. Been hit by a pitch once. Leading the team in walks right now is Brevin Harrison, who is not in the lineup today. 3-1 delivery for Jake Johnson. Chops one, third base side. It will roll into foul territory down the line there. Full count for Roseburg's cleanup hitter. RBI opportunity with Dane St. Clair at second. Defense playing back with the 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Scoreless ball game. Johnson will step back in. The 3-2 offering coming up from Ledoux. The right-hander will set. Looks to second. Delivers home. Breaking ball. Fouled off again. Off the front foot there for Johnson. He stays alive. Bottom of the first inning. Both teams with a hit so far in the contest. Jake Johnson at the plate, trying to make it 2 here in the first and see if he can bring around St. Clair from second. And a balk is called. That'll move St. Clair to third. Out of the dugout was Coach Simmons for South Eugene, either looking for an explanation or looking to try and debate the call made on the field, but he turns and heads back down the steps. 3-2 pitch once again. Let's do it here. And it's outside. Gets by the catcher. St. Clair is muscling his way to the plate. He'll come across the score on the wild pitch. Makes a 1-0 Roseburg in the first inning. A walk issued to Johnson. Gets the pitcher on base for the Indians. They'll bring in Caden Austin to run for Johnson. Wild pitch. So it was a pass ball, a balk, and a wild pitch that moved Dane St. Clair around the bases to score and put Roseburg in front 1-0. Early lead for the Indians. They led 1-0 against Lake Oswego, so don't start counting your chickens before they hatch here. Camden Hartzell will stand in, looking to try and see if he can keep a 2-out rally going for the Tribe in the bottom of the first. Ledoux's first pitch, a little high. Hartzell did take the loss against Lake Oswego. Things got away from him up there. Allowed 10 runs on 9 hits, 5 walks, 3 strikeouts, and 3 hit batters. That was over 3 2/3 innings of work. Pickoff throw to first. Austin back in safely. At the plate, though, Hartzell is 3 for 6 on the season. That comes in just 2 games. 3 singles. He's got an RBI, a walk. Does have 1 strikeout to his tally. He's got a 1-0 pitch coming up here from Ledoux. Runner going. Pitch was a ball. Throw to second. Off the helmet of Austin. Caden Austin goes sliding into second base. The ball one-hopped off the turf and hit off the top of his helmet. Ricocheted off of the shortstop, Gavin Bush, as Austin came barreling into the bag. He slid right into the bag. Bush was on the bag and they just collided there. But a stolen base for Caden Austin. At the plate, it's a 2-0 count for Hartzell. The pitch, belted in the air. Foul territory just on the other side of first, and it is caught by Moses. That'll finish it off. But Roseburg does get a run across, and they make it interesting here in the first inning. 1 run comes in on 1 hit. There were no errors. There was one runner left on base. We'll go to the top of the second. Roseburg in front, 1-0 here on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
To us, pizza the way it ought to be isn't just our slogan. It's our promise and our passion to give you the best dining experience and the best tasting pizza you expect. For over 40 years, we've been making pizza the way it ought to be. Handmade with the freshest and finest ingredients. Our dough is made fresh daily, and we use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings edge to edge. There's pizza, and then there's Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
My wife and I moved to Oregon to raise a family, set our roots, and to have a lot of fun outdoors. We quickly realized that we needed a truck or a rig for the projects that we were doing in the backyard. When we were looking to find a place to finance our truck, we asked our patients, and everyone recommended Cascade Community Credit Union. It was so easy to work with Cascade. Everything was done via email, phone, and we didn't even need to go in. I can't wait to finish up the projects in the backyard, go on more adventures in our truck with our boys, and I look forward to working with Cascade again in the future.
A lead to work with now for Jake Johnson as we start the second inning. Dylan Stevens, Gabe Garcia, and Zev Moses, your 3 batters due up for the Axe. Today's game brought to you by Barnes Heating and Cooling, your complete energy company. Visit barnesheatingandcooling.com or call them at 541-459-1545. Dylan Stevens, the right fielder, will lead things off against Jake Johnson. First pitch, inside corner for a called strike. Stevens, senior, outfielder pitcher for South Eugene. The 0-1 pitch, in for another strike. He's watched them 2 go by. Stevens had a single, a walk, and he had a couple of RBI in the 14-8 win over North Eugene last Friday. He'll take 3 straight pitches for strikes here in the second inning. He goes down looking. Didn't take the bat off the shoulder in that one. That's your second strikeout in the game for Jake Johnson. 1 down. It brings up Gabe Garcia, the third baseman. He'll try to time up the first pitch, but takes it for strike 1. Garcia, a junior, starting at third base today for the Axe. High, 1-1 count from Johnson. 1-1 count. That ball in the air out towards left field, but hooking well out of the ballpark and into the parking lot, out towards what is now the JV softball field for Roseburg High School, the grass and dirt field here at Stewart Park, where the varsity team used to play. Pitch gets away from Jake there. 2-2 count to Garcia. Roseburg softball is in action today. They're hosting South Eugene. Roseburg track and field also hosting South Eugene today. It's a 2-2 pitch. Line towards left field's going to get in for a hit. Garcia on with a base knock into the corner. Loomis will have it throw in, and it will not be in time, just behind by a step as Garcia in with a stand-up double here in the second. Might have gotten around on an off-speed pitch, high and inside, and he pulls it down the left field line for a one-out double. Garcia at second base. And it'll bring up Zev Moses, the first baseman. Don't know if South Eugene got a budget discount rate on buses coming south here today. Swing and a miss, strike one for Moses. You got baseball, softball, and track and field all here in town. Imagine that could have been quite the caravan. Probably all showed up at different times. Baseball and softball started at 4:30. Track and field started at 4. The 0-1 pitch, elevated. 1-1 count for Moses. But now softball being played over at Roseburg High School, just behind the Finlay Field Stadium there, the grandstands. Outside, 2-1 count for Moses. So before, we'd be able to try and give you score updates on the softball game from here because I can see the scoreboard on that field. We'll see if we can try and get some updates from the new field as they have moved back to campus for softball now. 2-1 for Jake. Ball fouled back and out of play. 2-2 count. Zev Moses at the plate, the first baseman. He drove in a couple of runs in that 14-8 win last Friday over the Highlanders from Swede Johnson Stadium in Eugene. He'll take strike three, froze him on the outside corner, and that pitch has been deadly so far for Jake Johnson. 2 away. Third strikeout in the game for Jake. He's trying to pitch around a one-out double given up to Gabe Garcia. Simon Warren will bat. He's the DH. Hits in the 9 spot. Rounding out the first time through the lineup for Johnson. There's that pitch again, right on the outside corner, right around knee high. And just a thud of a fastball coming in for Jake on that one. Warren stands back in with the 0-1 count. And that pitch that has been a strikeout has been a strike. Set up that last one. He tried to get Warren to chase a pitch a little bit further off the plate. That pitch has been called a strike so many times. Maybe the hitter is going to see it head into that outside corner and goes after it. Jake couldn't get it there. Set up on the 1-1. It's a ground ball, first base side. Hartzell takes it and will take it to the bag himself as he avoids the collision with Jake Johnson as they both race to the bag. That'll be the final out here in the second. For South Eugene, they get a runner on but can't do anything with it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We go to the bottom of the second. It's still Roseburg, 1-0 on top of South Eugene here on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
At Douglas County Farmers Co-op, we want your four-legged friends to be healthy and happy. That's why we stock a carefully curated selection of pet, equine, and livestock supplies. From the premium foods your pets crave to grooming and show supplies that help you shine in the show ring, you'll find it at Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Our knowledgeable staff are here to help with those tough pet and livestock care questions. Stop by or shop at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
I've always handled my own finances, but I need help.
Get a better understanding of your finances. At Palm Wealth Management, we care about your priorities and help restore financial security. Call Palm Wealth Management today.
Mountain Mike's Pizza, the way it ought to be.
Bottom of the second inning. Today's game brought to you by Dr. Lance and Randall, Family and Cosmetic Dentistry. Visit drrandall.com or call them at 541-378-6694. Joey Kieran here with you. Bottom of the second we go. Online at 541radio.com and here on the Score. Online video stream brought to you by the Cow Creek Tribe. First pitch from Matt Ledoux will hit the front shoulder of Cash Richardson. So he will get on base pretty quickly there for Roseburg. Checking in on that softball game, we've got people in the right places and have found out that Roseburg softball leading 1-0.
Next batter, the left fielder, number 2,
Roseburg softball leading in that one, bottom of the third in that contest over at Roseburg High. A runner on at first. Stepping off is Ledoux to look back Richardson at first base. Up to bat, Brayton Loomis. Loomis expected to bunt here as Garcia playing in on the infield grass. He does show the bunt. A pitch outside, throw down to first base. Will not get there in time. Moses had to get defensive to scoop that one out of the turf. Now, I will refer to it as grass and as dirt because those are the traditional terms, but it is all artificial grass here at Champion Car Wash Field. Even the dirt, chalk, grass, all of it's artificial. The pitch swung on and fouled away. 1-1 count for Brayton Loomis, the left fielder. Loomis trying to help move around Cash Richardson after he reached getting hit by the first pitch of the frame. Roseburg looking to extend a 1-0 lead. Showing to bunt. Loomis all the way in comes Garcia, offering. He didn't get a piece of it. And it's a 1-2 count for Brayton Loomis. Loomis, this will be his fourth at-bat of the season. Still looking for his first hit. He's been on base a couple of times. 1-2 pitch from Ledoux, who stands for a long time. I was about to say, that's a long wait out there. Calling time is Loomis. Get a chance for a legal ID here in just a moment. We'll try to sneak that in. A 1-2 pitch coming up. Ledoux. Low and outside, a 2-2 count. So Brayton Loomis, the left fielder, at first base. Cash Richardson, 7-hitter in the lineup at the plate. On the mound, Ledoux pitching out of the stretch as he does throughout the entire game. Will come set with the hands at the hips. He kicks and fires. Loomis pops it up out to right field, not very deep. Second baseman going out, makes the play, does Tommy France, one away. Let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Roseburg Baseball here on the Score.
Next batter, the catcher, number
Loomis out number 1 on his shallow fly ball into the right field area. Brings up the 8-hitter Amos Bowers. At first base, still Cash Richardson. Back in sliding with a pickoff throw that direction. Bowers batting 125 on the year. Roseburg came into today batting 218. It's a small sample size still, just 3 games in. And they face some pretty good teams and some tough pitching. As a pitch picked off the turf. 1-0 count for Bowers. Amos has a single for his only hit of the year. Has drawn a walk. He's got a 2-0 count. Runner going. The throw down to second. Not in time. Taking for a strike was Bowers on the 2-0. Stealing second goes Richardson. Gets himself into scoring position. 1 out. That is the second stolen base in the game for Roseburg. Trying to manufacture something here in the second, leading 1-0. Ledoux. Long wait, long stare to second. Time called again just before the pitch. Ledoux, he takes his time. He wants to slow things down out there, or at least he's being forced to. I was talking about pace of play with Coach Troy Thompson prior to the game. It came up in our interview, and so I asked some follow-up questions afterwards. 2-1 pitch. High and inside for Bowers. Said on defense, when they're on the mound, they want to keep the tempo going, move it, move it, move it, move it. When you're on defense, you don't want things to slow down. When you're up at the plate, you want to slow it down and make things as disjointed as possible. And I'd say Roseburg's doing a decent job of doing that here in the bottom of the second. 3-1 offering. In for a strike. Bowers thought it was ball 4. He's got himself a full count coming up. Now 2-0. Roseburg softball ahead of South Eugene in that single contest they're playing over there for their Southwest Conference opener. Full count pitch here to Amos Bowers. Bowers fouls it off. Count will stay full with 1 out and a man at second base for the Indians. Bottom of the second, a 1-0 ball game. Ledoux is staring in, will step off the rubber. The South Eugene club graduated 8 seniors last year, but only one of them an all-conference player, so they returned more all-conference guys than they graduated. Always a nice combination. 3-2 pitch out of Ledoux. Breaking ball fouled off, went through the legs of the catcher, Santiago. He at first, I think, thought maybe that ball was a pass ball. Full count remains for Amos. He's been battling here with 2 strikes. He thought he had ball 4. He's fouled off the last couple after that, called strike 2. 3-2 pitch, this time ground ball up the middle, range. It's collected by Bush. He'll send it to first base. Up to third goes Richardson. 6-3 put out for Bowers, 2 down. Roseburg with a man 90 feet from home with 2 away. They managed to score in this situation last time in the first inning.
Next batter, center fielder number 3, Heath King.
Able to come in and score on a wild pitch was Dane St. Clair. There's a wild pitch and a ball 4 issued to Jake Johnson. St. Clair came in to score to make it 1-0 in the first inning. Now Roseburg with Cash Richardson at third. Heath King at the plate trying to bring him in. The ball is way in the air behind home, but it's Santiago there to make the catch and retire the side. Slow moving bottom of the second. Roseburg threatens, but they cannot capitalize. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left on base. It's still 1-0. Roseburg in front of South Eugene as we go to the top of the third here on 541radio.com and on the score. 92.3 FM at 1490 AM.
Leading 2-0.
Turn your home into your dream sanctuary with help from Douglas County Farmers Co-op. For over 100 years, we've carried everything you need to keep your garden and crops green and growing, including a large selection of soil mixes, composts, fertilizers, and other soil amendments. You'll also find stones, boulders, gravel, and more to add structure and diversity to your yard. Stop by or shop at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
Roseburg baseball here on the score this season, brought to you by Chuck Swarman Family Auto Repair. Are you ready to go where life takes you? We are headed to the top of the third inning between Roseburg and South Eugene here from Champion Car Wash Field on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Told the dugout before I made my way back to the booth, let's enjoy it while it's here. Looks like the forecast for the later in the week not necessarily going to be nearly as enjoyable. Top of the third, we'll have the top of the lineup coming up for South Eugene. Landon Lay had a single to start off the game for the Axe. He takes low and outside for ball one from Jake Johnson. Lay got on with a single. Moved to second on an error. A 1-0 pitch. He chops that one hard into foul territory for strike one. Was on second after a fielding error at third base for the Indians. Eventually got to third base on a ground out, but that was as far as he'd make it in that first inning. He chops one third base side. It's picked up deep in the hole by Avery at short. He throws it to first and will not get it there in time. One hopped into Camden Hartzell. He was reaching for it. Bounced up off of his leg. Lay was going to beat out that throw anyways, so it does not matter that Hartzell does not field it cleanly at first base. Infield single. Lay is 2 for 2 in the game. That ball was deep in the hole for Avery. Tried to get the low trajectory on it across the diamond, but just couldn't get it there in time. Pick-off throw to first base. Lay in there safely. That'll be the third hit in the game for South Eugene. They trail 1-0 as we're here in the third inning. A couple of looks that direction for Jake Johnson. Very concerned about Lay and his speed. Squaring to bunt. It's pushed down the third base side for Tavo Santiago. The bunt taken in foul territory by Richardson. An 0-1 count. Said pushed. I mean, he gets the barrel out there and he kind of pushes it down into the turf. But I guess in most cases you'd probably think a push bunt is going to be down the first base side for a right-handed batter, which Santiago is. So I guess he didn't really feel like a drag bunt, though, if you ask me. It's a pickoff throw to first, won't be in time. Drag kind of feels like a guy bursting out of the box and kind of just tries to lay down a soft one, but we're discussing the finer points of bunting here. The 0-1 pitch taken for a ball. Throw down to second. Gets away from the shortstop, Brooks Avery. Backing up the play, Paxton Burke tracks down the baseball. In safely goes Lay to second base. 1-1 count at the plate for Santiago. And so he will have a man in scoring position after the stolen base for Landon Lay. And he's got a 1-1 count to work with. Does he continue to show a bunt? No, he does not. He swings through on the 1-1 for strike two. Nobody out and only one strike against him. I was kind of curious if they may continue to go with the sack bunt routine and try and get Lay to third base. A 1-2 pitch. Pulled towards left field, is going to get down. Game tying run around third. The throw from left field. Cut off, throw to the plate. Not in time. And Santiago will come through with an RBI single to left field. Loomis got it in quickly. Richardson's throw to the plate got there just as Lay came around and was sliding in head first. RBI single ties this up here in the top of the third. Santiago at first. Lay scores. Nobody out still. It's Matt Ledoux to bat. He does not waste any time. Puts one high in the air to right field. Tracking it is St. Clair. And out in right field, DSC. Been trying to get those initials in my head there. DSC with the catch. St. Clair makes it one away. Brings up Gavin Bush, the shortstop. Santiago stays at first base. Jake Johnson to face Bush for a second time. Misses low and outside. Bush grounded out to third back in the first inning. That is still Santiago running at first. No courtesy runner for the Axe. The 1-0 delivery for Johnson. Pickoff throw to first, and he almost got Santiago over there. He got his wheels spinning. But he didn't have a huge lead, so he was able to dive back to the bag in time. Johnson delivers to the plate. This one's in the air and out of play. 1-1 count to Gavin Bush. Bush did have an RBI and the win over North Eugene. Went back and watched the game changer and took some stats. 1-1 pitch, just a bit low. 2-1 count for Jake Johnson. 14 runs scored. A lot of guys got in on the action, driving in some runs in that one. The 2-1 for Jake. Breaking ball hits the outside corner. Evens up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. North Eugene did rally back. They had the bases loaded in the bottom of the 7th. They were down by 6, but that's not a bad spot to be in. They had the bases loaded, but it was with 2 outs, and they could not come through with a clutch hit. Getting the win in that one was Zev Moses, who is playing at first base today for South Eugene, pitching 4 innings. Another pickoff throw to first, and safely again will go Santiago. That last throw almost got away from Hartzell at first base. 2-2 delivery here for Johnson. Tie ball game, 1-1. Runner was going to go at first, but I think Santiago lost his footing, and the breaking ball to the plate, low and outside. It's a full count. It looked like he was getting ready to take off, but just lost his footing. The 3-2 pitch, ball 4. First and second, just 1 out. That's the first walk issued by Johnson. It goes to Bush, and it brings up the 5-hitter, Brendan Van Ryzen. Van Ryzen flew out to right field to end things in the first inning. He'll take the first pitch for a strike here in the 3rd. 1-1 ball game. South Eugene rallying back. They tie it up on a single to left field by Tavo Santiago, scoring Landon Lay, who reached on an infield single to start out the frame. The 0-1 pitch from Johnson, swung on and missed for strike 2. Out at second base, Santiago. After that RBI single, he's into scoring position. Dancing around out there, trying to distract Johnson. The 0-2 pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Could be a chance at 2. Avery jumping throw to first. Got it there in time. Double play. Defense gets Roseburg out of things here in the 3rd. Brooks Avery fielding it right at the bag, steps on the pillow, makes a jumping 1-hop throw to Hartzell at first to wrap things up here in the 3rd inning. South Eugene does strike. They get 1, but the defense cuts them down from there. 1 run on 2 hits, no Roseburg errors, and 1 man left on base. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd, tied at 1 on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Remember the good old days when you didn't have to make an appointment or wait in line for an hour just to talk to your teller? When businesses were local and gave back to the community. At Cascade Community Credit Union, there are some things will never change. We're the only credit union or bank headquartered in Douglas County, and making our members a priority has always been our priority. For easy and simplified banking, visit CCCU. No appointment, just come on in.
One ball game here on the Score. Today's contest brought to you by Chuck Swarm and Family Auto Repair and by our friends at Flyaway Travel. Contact the travel experts at Travel Leader Flyaway Travel and make sure that you have an agent in your corner. Give them a call at 541-672-5701. Top of the order here up for Roseburg against Matt Ledoux, who has a little bit of life back in his sails after his team rallies back to tie this one up. First pitch here in the third buzzes the tower against Brooks Avery, who leans back out of the way just a hair. First pitch of the last inning from Ledoux, beamed the batter. Avery gets underneath one, belts this one high in the air out towards left field. That ball one hops in front of the track. It'll roll all the way to the fence. Avery heading for third. He's rounding in, takes a look. He'll get in with a triple to start things here in the third inning for Roseburg. Brooks Avery, who had 2 home runs in the game against South Eugene up in Eugene last year. He gets a huge triple there. That ball belted over the head of Van Ryzen out in left field. And Avery, motoring around the bases, gets in. He is the go-ahead run at third with nobody out for the Indians. First pitch. Ground ball, first base side, goes off the glove for Moses. No play to be made at first. A run will score. That's an RBI for Paxton Burke. And on safely will be Burke at first with nobody out. And it's now a 2-1 lead for Roseburg. We'll see how they score that down in the dugout on the game changer for the Roseburg boys. But either way, that was going to be an RBI as Burke was going to drive in Avery from third base. 2-1 your score. Roseburg in front. They are moving quickly here. Moving to second base will go Burke. The throw not in time. 1-0 count at the dish for Dane St. Clair. And a stolen base puts Paxton Burke into scoring position. Whew. Don't blink. You might miss something here in this third inning so far. They do put that down as an error for Burke getting on base. It was on the first baseman, Zev Moses, and that's kind of what I was expecting. A 1-0 count with a man at second. Excuse me, it was an 0-1 count. Now it's a 1-1 count for Dane St. Clair. St. Clair with a base hit in the first inning, had the only hit of the game until this inning for Roseburg. Brooks Avery starting off the inning with the first triple of the year. Showing a bunt, the ball popped out of the glove. Santiago's throw to third, not in time as Burke goes sliding in to the leg of Garcia, knocks him over as he applies the tag. A one hop into the dish, and Burke takes advantage, reading that ball very quickly. It'll be a wild pitch to move him up 90 feet. 2-1 count for Dane St. Clair. Now a runner at third, a pickoff throw that direction. Garcia wasn't even over there holding the runner on, but Ledoux steps off the rubber and slings it that direction. Almost threw it away. First error of the game for South Eugene coming here in this third inning. Bouncing in front of the toes for St. Clair. He's got himself a 3-1 count. Roseburg putting some pressure on against South Eugene here in the third inning. Nobody out. 1 run in already. A man at third. The infield playing in. A 3-1 pitch to St. Clair. Gets one. Ropes it underneath the glove at first. Into right field. Another run comes in to score as St. Clair has his second hit of the day. Roseburg will add another run as Paxton Burke comes in to score. Dane St. Clair on at first base once again.
Next batter, number 17, Jake Johnson.
Second hit here in the third inning for Roseburg. Jake Johnson will bat, a man at first. His team now leading by 2 runs, giving him something to work with on the mound. Now he'll look to try and help his own cause as Ledoux throws over to first base, not in time to get DSC. I have no idea if that's a good nickname or not. We'll figure it out as the season goes on. Big Red feels like a good one. He's a big guy, red hair, but it seems too easy. As taking off goes Dane. St. Clair in safely as he hugs the bag going into second base. Wants to make sure he doesn't slide by. And Roseburg really being aggressive here in the third. I believe that was ball one, but I'm taking a guess on it there. Pitch bounces in. That's a ball, and it'll get by the catcher. Santiago tried to knock it down as he backhanded that one in the dirt. Up the third base goes St. Clair on the wild pitch. And once again, with nobody out, Roseburg has a man at third base. 2-0 count. Dane at third base. At the plate is Jake Johnson. He'll take high. And time called as heading out to the mound is going to be Elijah Simmons, the head coach for South Eugene. Now the Axe, they had listed only 2 guys on the lineup card in the dugout. They've got 3 guys down there. So must be one of those guys is not looking to play here today. Visit out the mound. I was just trying to speculate as to what we might possibly see if they want to get somebody up in the bullpen going. You've got Toa Sobi and Oliver Trent in the dugout. Just because they're down there doesn't necessarily mean that they would be the options to take over on the mound. They may look to somebody else on the field to do that. Would assume, for the most part, probably... Well, I didn't see Rodman on the lineup card for today, so I'm guessing he's either not available or not here. Gavin Bush only threw 1 inning, the shortstop. I would imagine after being on Friday, he's had the weekend, and Monday he should be eligible to pitch today if they needed him to go to the mound. Right now, a 3-0 count for Jake Johnson. At third base is Dane St. Clair. There's ball 4, and runners on the corners with nobody out. That's the second walk issued by Ledoux. He's also hit a batter. Runners at first and third. We'll get Caden Austin in to run for Jake Johnson. On the corners with nobody out. A lot of options here on the chessboard for Coach Troy Thompson and the Indians. Santiago will indicate to the infield what he wants to do defensively. With nobody out and runners at first and third, we'll see what the Indians elect to do in this situation. First pitch, look to third, throw back to first, not in time. Camden Hartzell at the plate. He popped out to the first baseman last time up. First pitch off the end of his bat, fouled. Ooh, look out. There's a fan in purple over there behind the first base dugout that thought about it for a second and decided, you know what? I don't need to sacrifice my hands to make this catch. And then it almost hit the young lady behind him. Died just in front of her. 0-1 pitch for Hartzell. Running from first goes Austin, and time called, I believe, a balk. A balk is called against Ledoux, and the runners will get 90 feet. Second of the game for Ledoux. He looked to the dugout immediately. He's not going to get any help from over there, it looks like. So Austin will get to second base on the balk, and Dane St. Clair scores from third. Roseburg really putting the pressure on. They lead it 4-1. Pitch high for a 1-1 count to Camden Hartzell. Roseburg's been super aggressive on the bases and has put a lot of pressure on South Eugene to try and make the exact play they need to. The 1-1 outside. Hartzell ahead in the at-bat. Matt Ledoux laboring through here in this third inning. It's been a lengthy one. He's thrown a lot of pitches. Game changer looks to be a little delayed on where we're at here. The 2-1 pitch swung on and missed for strike 2. I would imagine Ledoux has got to be getting close to about 60 pitches in the game. Two delivery here for Hartzell. Off the hands, dribbles it back to the mound, fielded by Ledoux. He threw it high, but able to get to it, and back on the bag is Moses. Up to third goes Caden Austin, running for Jake Johnson. 1 away. So Hartzell grounds out to the mound.
Number 14, Cash Richardson.
But he does move the runner up 90 feet. And on the mound, just Ledoux, I think, rushing himself, a little anxious, looking to get that first out. Almost short-armed that one over the head of the first baseman. Nice pick behind the plate by Tavo Santiago with the backhand. He gets that one up off the dirt. Make sure it doesn't get by, holding the runner Austin at third. Cash Richardson batting. He was hit by a pitch his first time up. It's got the 1-0 pitch here. Takes just outside, 2-0. Two balls, no strikes for Cash Richardson, looking for his first hit of the day. It's upstairs from Ledoux, and it's quickly a 3-0 count for Richardson, also looking for his first hit of the season. Probably going to be watching on this pitch, though. Cash does have 2 walks, and he'll earn another one as that ball gets by. Racing for home comes Austin. The throw, not in time. Roseburg will add another one on a pass ball or a wild pitch. Looked like it hit off the glove if I was paying attention there. I think that should go down as a pass ball if you ask me. First 4 runners get on base. They all come around to score. A walk to Richardson. Third in the ballgame for Ledoux. A runner at first, still 1 out. And Roseburg's now on top. 4 runs in here in the third. They're on top 5-1 as they look to first base, but no throw. Today's ball game is sponsored by Fisher's Hearth and Home, serving Douglas County for over 30 years with the largest selection of wood, gas, pellet, and electric stoves and fireplaces. Foul tip into the glove for strike 1. They're into the top of the 5th inning in the softball game. And Roseburg leading that one over South Eugene 7-1. Pickoff throw to first, not in time. Let's see here. Just past 5:30. That means Oregon State baseball taking on the University of Portland. That game is just underway from Joe Etzel Field in Portland. Pitch outside. Squaring to bunt at first was Loomis at the plate. Pulled it back, and I think he was just kind of trying to put it out there, see what would happen. Didn't really have any intent on trying to bunt. And the pitch goes by the catcher, Santiago. And that allows Cash Richardson to move up to second base. Been a tough inning here for South Eugene, the 1-1. Grounded third base side, just goes foul before it gets to the bag. That'll be strike 2 in the at-bat for Loomis. Brayton 0 for 1 in the game with a fly ball out to second base. One-two delivery for Brayton Loomis. Runner going from second. It's in for a strike. An easy steal of third base for Cash Richardson, but at the plate, that was strike 3 on Brayton Loomis. He watched it go by, and that is the second strikeout for Matt Ledoux, and he needed that one. There's 2 down here in the third. brings up the 8-hitter Amos Bowers. He's the 8th hitter in the inning and the 8th hitter on your lineup card. He takes low for ball 1 over the plate. A 1-0 delivery. Swung on and missed. Amos last time at the plate, grounded out to shortstop. The 1-1 delivery from Ledoux ends up inside. So OSU baseball getting underway here today. And other Southwest Conference openers going on today as well. South Medford is at Grants Pass, and Sheldon is at Willamette. 2-1. Outside, bounces, gets back to the backstop. Santiago goes chasing, won't get it there in time. And Richardson comes in to score. Wild pitch brings in another run. Roseburg's on top 6-1. Wild pitch, a balk, pass ball. You have the triple to lead off the frame. A single by St. Clair drove in a run, but Roseburg has scored 5 runs as a walk issued on the 3-1 pitch to Amos Bowers. Roseburg has scored 5 runs here in the 3rd inning. They've only got 1 RBI in all of that because there's been so many wild pitches and pass balls. Taking over at first base to run for the catcher will be senior Keegan Carpenter, taking over for Bowers. Runner on at first, 2 away, and the 9th hitter to the plate here in the 3rd. Heath King, the left-handed hitter, popped out to the catcher his first time up. Ball goes all the way to the backstop, easily up to second base will go Carpenter. And South Eugene's up out of the dugout arguing that that hit the nub underneath the hands of Heath King on its way to the backstop. I didn't get that. I didn't see that from where I'm at here. They're going to get the officials together. It didn't seem like that ball changed any sort of direction at all. Well, it just went straight to the backstop. South Eugene's not going to be happy with that call. But I would have been surprised if that had gone through. It did not seem like that was the case at all. It's a 1-0 count for Heath King. Up to second base went Bowers on the wild pitch. There's 2 down. It's 2 away here in the bottom of the 3rd. Roseburg with 5 runs in so far on 2 hits. On the mound, Matt Ledoux trying to get the axe through this 3rd. 1-0 pitch high and away, and he is starting to fatigue. Two balls, no strikes. Ledoux misses high and away again. The count goes to 3-0. Just seems like the arm's starting to get a little loose on him. He is over 60 pitches on the day. He's got a 3-0 count, and that one bounces in front of the plate for ball 4. Back-to-back walks, and that is the 4th walk issued here in the 3rd inning for Matt Ledoux. That would make it 5 total in the ballgame. And here comes another visit out to the mound for Coach Elijah Simmons, and we're going to get a call to the pen here in the 5th, or make that the 3rd inning, as South Eugene starting pitcher Matt Ledoux will not make it out of the frame. They'll make some adjustments to what's happening out there on the field, and we'll get it all for you when we come back. There's 2 away, and Roseburg has runners at first and second with a new pitcher taking over on the mound. It'll be the top of the order to face the new arm when we return after this 1-minute timeout, a 1-minute break here on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM. Copy.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
So we get a call to the pen here in the 3rd inning for South Eugene. Starting pitcher Matt Ledoux goes 2 2/3 innings, right now credited with 6 runs allowed. He does have credit for the 2 runners that are currently on base. Out at second base, Keegan Carpenter running for the catcher Amos Bowers, and Heath King running at first. Taking over on the mound is going to be the right fielder Dylan Stevens. He will move to the bump. Going to right field is Tavo Santiago. So the catcher moves into right field. And my guess is Ledoux goes back behind the plate. Strap on his back, I'm assuming that is a 15 under there. So we'll put Ledoux behind the plate. And that would seem to be the moves made, but we'll try to confirm that nobody else goes any other direction. So new man on the mound, Dylan Stevens will face Brooks Avery, the leadoff hitter. And he takes high for ball 1. 2 runners on base, 2 away here in the 3rd inning. Roseburg has sent 9 hitters to the plate. This is the 10th. Avery up for a second time here in the 3rd. He led off the inning with a triple to left field. Takes high for a 2-0 count. Avery's leadoff triple went over the head of left fielder Brendan Van Ryzen and rolled all the way to the wall on a couple of hops. 2-0 count. It's high, a 3-0 count for Avery. So Brooks gets a hit. He is, if I'm not mistaken, I believe has had a hit in every game this season. He's currently batting .400 on the year. It's got a 3-0 count. He takes for a strike. So a call to the pen. South Eugene needing to bring in the relief. Roseburg leading by 5. 3-1 offering to Avery. Gets underneath one, pops it up behind home and out of play. Gives him a full count. Avery got on with a triple. Paxton Burke got on with an error. Dane St. Clair drove in a run with a single. Walk, ground out, walk, strikeout, walk, walk. It was a tough frame there for Matt Ledoux. It started out the game not doing too bad. Double steal on the 3-2 pitch. It'll end up being ball 4. As runners get moving with that full count pitch there. Walk issued. That'll be the 6th walk in the game for South Eugene pitchers. First for the new man, Dylan Stevens. And it loads up the bases with 2 outs. And Roseburg really looking to punish South Eugene here in the 3rd inning. Already 5 runs across, and they're looking to add to it. Burke will take outside for a 1-0 count. So far, just one, none of them make that 2 strikes thrown by Dylan Stevens. 1-0 delivery. Burke slaps that one up and out of play over the left side into the parking lot for strike one. So Ledoux went 2 2/3 innings. 1, 2. He only gives up 3 hits. 1-1 pitch. Ground ball up the middle for Burke. Gets through into center field. 1 run comes around. A 2nd run coming to the plate in time. Throw to third is going to be the final out as Brooks Avery tries to get a extra bag on the throw to the plate. And South Eugene executes it. They cut off the throw and get Brooks at third for the final out. 2 more runs scored, though, and Roseburg will make it 8-1 as we go to the top of the 4th inning. Well, that was quite the frame there for the Indians. We'll see if South Eugene can muster a response. Top of the 4th coming up after this on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
To us, pizza the way it ought to be isn't just our slogan. It's our promise and our passion to give you the best dining experience and the best tasting pizza you expect. For over 40 years, we've been making pizza the way it ought to be. Handmade with the freshest and finest ingredients. Our dough is made fresh daily, and we use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings edge to edge. There's pizza, and then there's Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
My wife and I moved to Oregon to raise a family, set our roots, and to have a lot of fun outdoors. We quickly realized that we needed a truck or a rig for the projects that we were doing in the backyard. When we were looking to find a place to finance our truck, we asked our patients, and everyone recommended Cascade Community Credit Union. It was so easy to work with Cascade. Everything was done via email, phone, and we didn't even need to go in. I can't wait to finish up the projects in the backyard, go on more adventures in our truck with our boys, and I look forward to working with Cascade again in the future.
We go to the top of the 4th. Roseburg leading this one 8-1 after scoring 7 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on base in the bottom of the 3rd. Leading things off will be Dylan Stevens, now the pitcher for South Eugene. He gets underneath one, high in the air to left field. Drifting back is Brayton Loomis, who will square it up and makes the catch to retire the first batter here in the 4th. Stevens is 0 for 2 in the ball game. Got underneath that one pretty good, but in this spacious ballpark here at Champion Car Wash Field, there's a lot of room to work, and fly balls do not get out of here as the wind usually blowing in from that left field area. 1 away. Up to bat will be Gabe Garcia. Takes high for ball 1. Garcia has an extra base hit. He had a double back in the 2nd, but was stranded at second base. Takes for a 1-0 count. Today's game brought to you by DC Farmers Co-op, where everyone is welcome to shop. Low on the 1-0 offering from Jake Johnson, who had a long layoff there in that 3rd inning. Lasted about 30 minutes there for that 3rd. 2-0 pitch from Johnson. Strike across to make it 2-1. Johnson trying to get Garcia for the first time today. A 2-1 pitch. Popped up. That ball back behind home and headed towards the concession stand here today, which I don't think is operating. Does make it a 2-2 count for Gabe Garcia. Well, things going well for the Roseburg softball team and for the baseball team. Hopefully track and field is doing well. As a 2-2 pitch misses. Count goes full. South Eugene in town to face all 3 programs. And it was South Medford yesterday for tennis. Ball in the air for Garcia. Belted out towards left field again. This one not nearly close to the line. Coming in to make the play, Loomis. He was set up back there and then had to charge in pretty hard. Apologies there for the camera. I thought we hit the cut to the wide angle. Loomis out in left field. I thought he was camped underneath it, but then came charging in. Maybe he thought the same thing. 2nd out. And up to bat is going to be Zev Moses. The first baseman is 0 for 1 in the game with a strikeout looking. Swings at the first pitch. Live video coverage of today's ballgame brought to you by the Cow Creek Tribe. Ball Fouled back into the netting for Moses. He's got himself an 0-2 count. He had an RBI, or make that 2 RBIs and a single in the win over North Eugene. Looking for his first hit here today. The 0-2 delivery out of Johnson. Breaking ball, and that is another strikeout for Moses. And it's another Chris Hubbard State Farm Insurance strikeout for Jake Johnson. It's his 4th in the game. Make sure you visit chrisinsures.com for a free quote today, or give Chris with State Farm a call at 541-672-3301. We are done with the top of the 4th inning, and we've got the bottom of the 4th coming up when we return. Roseburg leads at 8-1 here on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
At Douglas County Farmers Co-op, we want your four-legged friends to be healthy and happy. That's why we stock a carefully curated selection of pet, equine, and livestock supplies. From the premium foods your pets crave to grooming and show supplies that help you shine in the show ring, you'll find it at Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Our knowledgeable staff are here to help with those tough pet and livestock care questions. Stop by or shop at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
I've always handled my own finances, but I need help.
Get a better understanding of your finances. At Palm Wealth Management, we care about your priorities and help restore financial security. Call Palm Wealth Management today.
Mountain Mike's Pizza, the way it ought to be.
First batter for Roseburg is number 13, Dane St. Clair.
Bottom of the 4th inning, Roseburg looking to try and add to an 8-1 lead on top of South Eugene as we start the 4th inning. Dylan Stevens on the mound will face Dane St. Clair for the first time. Dane pops it up, out of play for strike 1. 4th inning here, Roseburg in the 3rd sent 11 hitters to the plate, scoring those 7 runs on 3 hits and 1 error. They drew 5 walks in the 3rd inning as well. 0-1 pitch for St. Clair. Just a little elevated. He's got a 1-1 count. Dane on the day, 2 for 2 with a pair of singles. Does have an RBI in there as well. A 1-1 pitch. Pitcher fell down. A soft liner towards short. Picked up by Rush. His throw to first in time. Bush. Not Rush, Gavin Bush at shortstop. Had to kind of rush the throw. Does get it there in time to retire St. Clair. 1 away in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Batter number 17, Jake Johnson.
Jake Johnson, the pitcher, has walked twice in the game. So he's been on base both times, looking to pick up that. He's looking for his first hit of the season. So far, he hasn't had much of an opportunity to do it. As he takes high and away, ball 1 to start off this at-bat. Well, coming up as the week progresses, we are in the month of March. That means the NCAA men's and women's basketball tournaments are about to get underway this week. So 1-0 pitch. Jake fouls it up and out of play. Strike 1. We're going to have coverage of the Oregon State women's basketball team in the national championship tournament here on the Score. Corvallis is hosting a regional. Oregon State will host 3 other teams for a 4-team regional as Jake pops up another one. This one could be playable in foul territory. Ledoux calling for it behind home, makes the catch, and retires Jake Johnson. 2 away. We'll bring up Camden Hartzell, also looking for his first hit of the game. Hartzell grounded out to the pitcher his last time up. So if you want to follow the Oregon State women in the postseason, they'll be taking on Eastern Washington, a 14 seed. The Beavers are a 3 seed. If you want to tune in for that, we'll have coverage of it here on the Score for you. They get started on Friday at 5 o'clock, so pregame coverage, I believe, starts at 4:30 Friday here on the Score. And then if they win, they'll play again on Sunday, and we'll have coverage of that for you as well. Oregon Ducks also in the NCAA tournament. They've made the big dance, and we'll have coverage of the Ducks on our news partner, News Radio 93.9 FM and 1240 KQEN. Strike taken on the inside quarter by Hartzell. The Ducks get their tournament run started on Thursday. There are 1 o'clock start times, so 12:30 pregame on KQEN. Ground ball to third, picked up by Garcia across the diamond. A 1-2-3 frame for Roseburg here in the fourth. It stays an 8-1 ball game. Roseburg in front of South Eugene. We'll take the timeout and come back with the fifth inning here on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Turn your home into your dream sanctuary with help from Douglas County Farmers Co-op. For over 100 years, we've carried everything you need to keep your garden and crops green and growing, including a large selection of soil mixes, composts, fertilizers, and other soil amendments. You'll also find stones, boulders, gravel, and more to add structure and diversity to your yard. Stop by or shop at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
Back here at Champion Car Wash Field on a sunny Tuesday evening in the Umpqua Basin. I'm Joey Kieran, happy to be with you for this broadcast of Roseburg Baseball, which is brought to you by Cascade Community Credit Union, belong to Douglas County. Well, we're talking about the Ducks and the Beavers in the NCAA tournaments. We have the first 4-round going on here today.
First batter for South Eugene.
And they got started earlier this afternoon with the first game in that. It is Wagner defeating Howard for the 16 seed in the tournament coming up on Thursday in the first round. So congratulations. Wagner gets a 71-68 win over Howard. That was a good way to start out the tournament there and a close one. First pitch swing and a miss for Simon Warren, who will lead things off against Jake Johnson. The 0-1 pitch taken for strike two for the DH, Simon Warren. That would make sense. So Warren's in the lineup to hit, but he's in the dugout when they're out there on the field. So the DH is the 10th player. Then you've got two in the dugout. There's a foul ball, an 0-2 count. I'm talking out loud. I'm figuring out why there was 3 guys in the dugout, but only 2 listed on the bench on the lineup card. It's because one of them doesn't play in the field when they're out there defensively. Duh. You would think I would know these things after as long as I've been doing this. It's a 0-2 pitch here for Warren. Out in front on a breaking ball, pulls it to shortstop, backhanded by Avery. Throw to first, in time by a hair. Brooks Avery had to get that out of the glove quickly at shortstop. A bounding ball to the shortstop. Avery backhanding it on a short hop. And got that across the diamond just in the nick of time. One away, nobody on base. It's the top of the order here. Landon Lay, who is 2 for 2 with a pair of singles. He takes high. Lay got on base in the third and scored on a single by Tavo Santiago. That tied it up at 1-1 at the time. High and inside. 2 balls and no strikes. That was in the top of the third inning. In the bottom of the third, Roseburg would put up 7 runs to retake the lead and take it back big. Ooh. Jake Johnson was trying to hit the inside corner of the plate and was kind of trying to stay high and inside, and he lost control of that one. Went off the helmet for Landon Lay. He's going to walk this one off a moment here. And he'll talk with his coach down the third base or first base side. Hit batter for Jake Johnson. Trying to fight to own that inside corner and got a little too aggressive in that battle. First hit batter on the day for Jake. Here in the 5th inning, Tavo Santiago will bat with 1 out and 1 on. Santiago 1 for 2 on the day, reached on an error and then had the RBI single. Pitch outside, bounces away from Bowers, and up to second base is going to go Landon Lay. So Jake's got to settle himself back down. I don't think he was necessarily comfortable with the way that last at-bat worked out for him. Gets one in there for a foul ball to Santiago. You know, sometimes guys, they react differently when they hit a batter, especially when you hit one in the helmet and at this level. Hopefully it doesn't stick with Jake too long. He got the strike there. Now a breaking ball stays a little elevated to 2-1 count. I distinctly have memories from my playing days back in high school that I had a year, my junior season, where my abilities to throw the baseball suddenly went out the window because I hit a couple of guys. 2-1 pitch, grounder up the middle. They're going to get the option at first. They retire Santiago. Up to third goes Lay. 2 down. Avery with the play to first base. Camden Hartzell there to receive it. 2 down. Landon Lay made his way up to third. It's just one of those situations. Baseball is such a mental game that I was struggling to. The batting cages felt small, the netting around, and I was a youngster, and the seniors were getting upset that I could not throw BP. As a first pitch in to Matt Ledoux is going to be grounded up the middle. Taken by Avery behind the bag. Throw to first. What a play for the senior. He's got no problem throwing strikes. He sends a bullet to Hartzell at first base. He's definitely a much more established and skilled baseball player than I ever was in my playing days. Brooks Avery makes the play behind second base to get Matt Ledoux and retire things here in the top of the fifth. It's 8-1 Roseburg in front. We'll go to the bottom of the fifth inning here on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Remember the good old days? When you didn't have to make an appointment or wait in line for an hour just to talk to your teller. When businesses were local and gave back to the community. At Cascade Community Credit Union, there are some things will never change. We're the only credit union or bank headquartered in Douglas County, and making our members a priority has always been our priority. For easy and simplified banking, visit CCCU. No appointment, just come on in.
Back here for the bottom of the fifth inning, the Roseburg Indians leading this one 8-1 on top of South Eugene. It'll be Cash Richardson, Brayton Loomis, and Amos Bowers, your three hitters due up for the Indians against the South Eugene Axe. Richardson is 0-for-0 in the game. He's been hit by a pitch and walked. He'll take the first pitch for a strike from Dylan Stevens, who was taken over on the mound for Matt Ledoux, who started the game and went 2 2/3 innings. 0-1 pitch. Popped up in the air on the infield. It's going to be the pitcher calling for it and making the play is Dylan Stevens, who started out the game in right field. Acts like an outfielder, makes the catch on the infield. 1 down. Brayton Loomis will bat with nobody on and 1 away. First pitch high for ball 1 to Loomis, who is also looking for his first time on base. He has not had a hit. He gets around on that one. That ball's well struck. It's out towards the fence. It's going to one hop and get over the wall for a ground rule double for Brayton Loomis. Loomis gets a hold of one there. That could have been a ball that might have had a chance to get out of a ballpark if we're playing somewhere else. Here at Champion Car Wash Field, the field doesn't hold it, but it takes one hop to get out. And Brayton Loomis with a one-out double for Roseburg gets the ball rolling here in the 5th inning. 1 on, 1 away. Man at second base, and up to bat Amos Bowers. And the first pitch from Stevens, breaking ball low for ball 1. Here in the bottom of the 5th. Dylan Stevens, this will be his second possible full inning of work. He gets a swing and a miss out of Bowers for strike 1. He got the final out in the 3rd inning, facing 2 batters. Had a 1-2-3 4th inning. And here in the 5th, he's given up a ground rule double to Cash Richardson. Excuse me, Brayton Loomis. High, 2-1 count now for Amos Bowers. Loomis out at second base, being held on by Tommy France. Swing and a miss on the outside breaking ball. 2-2 count. And Bowers will take a walk around the dish. 2 balls, 2 strikes. In the air, right side play ball on the infield. Catch made by the first baseman in foul territory, Zev Moses, there for the play. 2 down, it brings up Heath King. Heath King, the center fielder, 9 batter, drew a walk in the 3rd and scored on the ground ball by Paxton Burke. And that put Roseburg on top 8-1. He's looking to try and see if he can add to it here. He takes high for ball 1. I want to say thanks to our sponsor, Roseburg Disposal, our pregame show sponsor. Make sure you tune in for the pregame for a quick preview of what's to come. That's Roseburg Disposal. Let them make the run to the dump for you. 673-7122. Fastball in for a called strike to King. Shadows starting to creep out from left field a little bit as we make our way through into the 6 o'clock hour. The 1-1 pitch breaking ball is low. 2 balls and a strike. We'll get a chance to pause for a legal ID here in just a moment. There is some activity in the bullpen for South Eugene. 2-1 pitch. Carries outside by Stevens. And King will have himself a 3-1 count. Three-one delivery. In for a strike, and the count goes full to Heath King. Final score from the softball diamond, the Roseburg girls get a 7-2 win on top of South Eugene in that Southwest Conference opener for the Indians and for the Axe. Ball 4. On the full count pitch, Heath King draws his second walk of the day. Second issued by Dylan Stevens. And the top of the order comes up for the Indians. Brooks Avery will dig into the box. Roseburg could end this game early with 3 runs here in the 5th inning. Brooks would represent that run, but as mentioned, this is a hard ballpark to hit it out of. I'm trying to remember one of the last times I've seen a home run hit here. I think I remember seeing the one that stands out to me as my most recent might have been Dominic Tatone to right field, which was a surprising one. That ball's well hit out to left field. It's not going to leave the yard, but it will drive in a couple. 1 run comes in, a 2nd run heading to the plate. Avery in with his 2nd extra base hit of the ball game, drives in 2, and Roseburg's on top 10-1. Brooks Avery standing at second base with his team on top by 9. He picks up his first RBI of the day. That double down the left field line. It was short of the warning track. So got me excited for a moment thinking about possibly ending this one early. Down the left field line is where a lot of them will go when they do go out here. But Brooks didn't quite get enough of that one, but he got quite a bit. First pitch high for ball 1 to Paxton Burke. Scoring was Loomis and King, both coming in to score with 2 outs, running on contact, no problem getting them around. Pitch bounces in the dirt, 2-0 count for Burke. Nice job behind the plate by Ledoux to keep that one in front of him. That holds Brooks Avery out at second. There's 2 away, so I don't know how aggressive Avery will be here, but I'm sure he wants to be aggressive. Inside to Burke for a 3-0 count. Burke 1 for 3 on the day. Does have 3 RBI. His 3-0 pitch taken at the knees for a strike. Just trying to remember. I feel like Dominic Tatone feels like the last home run I remember seeing a high schooler hit here at this ballpark. It's a 3-1 pitch. That's high for ball 4. And that might even have been during the Legion season. That might not have been high school ball, as there's another walk issued by Steven, his 3rd in the game. And that is 2 here in this 5th inning. He's given up 2 doubles and 2 walks. First and second for Roseburg. Dane St. Clair, who is 2 for 3 in the ball game, will step up. First time at the plate against Dylan Stevens. He grounded out to shortstop. St. Clair looking to try and bring in Avery from second and see about ending this one early. Although it's been a slow-moving game, so it's not like we're saving any time. First pitch misses low and inside for ball 1 to St. Clair. The lefty has been hitting well here today. Looking for a pitch he can get around on. Fouls that one off for strike 1. Throwing in the bullpen for South Eugene. As the pitcher falls down, he misses high. 2 balls and a strike to St. Clair. I believe that might be Oliver Trent out there. Two-one delivery by Stevens. Misses high and inside. Ducking out of the way goes St. Clair. I think I mentioned the Roseburg softball team did win 7-2 in their game, by the way. If I didn't mention it, there it is. If I did, there it is again. 3-1 pitch. St. Clair pops one high and well out of play. And we'll do it again on a 3-2. Full count pitch. Dylan Stevens out of his stretch. Runners at first and second. Take off. Swing and a miss to finish off the frame. Roseburg gets 2 of the 3 they needed to finish this one early, and St. Clair, anxious to try and do it, goes chasing outside the zone for the strikeout. That'll finish things off in the 5th inning. Roseburg gets 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and 2 runners left on base. We go to the top of the 6th. Roseburg leading big 10-1 on top of South Eugene on 541radio.com and on the score 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Brook Communications radio stations have joined forces with the News Review and Lotus Web Services, announcing the Lotus Media Group, a multimedia enterprise. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with Lotus Media Group, LLC.com.
What's that? Hopefully this is their victory record win this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Roseburg will go to the bullpen themselves as we get ready to begin the 6th inning here on the score. It is Brevin Harrison who will take over on the mound for Roseburg. Jake Johnson comes out. I'm assuming that he was getting close to a certain pitch limit that they wanted to try and avoid, so they will make the move here. So Brevin Harrison on the mound. Takes over for Jake Johnson, who goes 5 innings. Johnson giving up 4 hits, just the 1 run. And we'll get the rest of his numbers. First pitch from Brevin. It's in for a strike as he tries to come out and make quick work of this South Eugene lineup. At the plate, it's going to be Gavin Bush to lead things off. He's 0 for 1 in the game with a walk. 0-1 pitch, slapped right side. Is going to take a hop right in front of St. Clair out in right field. And that is a leadoff single for the Axe. First hit in the game for Bush. 1 on with nobody out. And it brings up Brendan Van Ryzen. Van Ryzen 0 for 2 in the game, grounded out to short his last time up. That was into a double play to end the inning. Takes the first pitch as a strike. Looking through, 1 walk. It's a pickoff throw to first base, not in time. 1 walk, 4 strikeouts for Jake Johnson, and 1 hit batter. Not a bad line for the junior right-hander. The 0-1 from Harrison, grounded down the third base side, foul. That is strike 2 for Van Ryzen. Roseburg leading 10-1 as we are here in the 6th inning. Top of the 6th, 1 runner on after a leadoff single to right field for Gavin Bush against Brevin Harrison, who's come on in relief. The 0-2 outside. Harrison, this will be his 3rd appearance already on the mound. He has had 1 relief appearance prior, coming in for Jake Johnson, and then he had a complete game victory in the 2nd game of the season for Roseburg. Ground ball towards the hole at short, picked up by Avery. Long throw, not in time. Just behind the runner, Van Ryzen, who will beat out an infield single to put runners at first and second. Runners on base with nobody out. Dylan Stevens will bat.
Next batter, number 13, Dylan Stevens.
So far, Harrison has been working to let his defense help him out, and they haven't been able to get the out just yet. 10-1 ball game. That the 2nd hit here in the 6th inning, so 6 hits total in this one. Swing and a miss for strike 1 to Stevens. Harrison, a quick look to second base, out of the stretch. Misses just a bit low for a 1-1. Brevin, 8 innings worked. He's got a 1-0 record. He had allowed 3 hits coming into this one, a .88 ERA. Not too shabby there for him. Misses low, 2 balls and a strike. There's 2 balls and 1 strike for Dylan Stevens, who's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Takes low, 3-0 count. Make that 3-1 count. Harrison trying to find his groove here and giving up a hit on the first 2 at-bats of this 6th inning. He's kind of started to dance around the strike zone. He misses low on the 3-1, and that'll load him up with nobody out. South Eugene looking to make a comeback here. They get runners on every base with nobody out. Gabe Garcia is 1 for 2 on the day with a double. He'll step up here looking to try and rip another extra base hit. Swings away at the first pitch, fouls it back for strike 1. Both these teams will be back to action coming up on Saturday with their first league doubleheaders of the season, their first doubleheaders in general. It's the 0-1 pitch, breaking ball at the knees for a strike. For South Eugene, they'll be hosting the Willamette Wolverines for a doubleheader Saturday. Those will be the first home games of the season for South Eugene. The ball chopped foul by Garcia. He'll stay alive with the 0-2 count. Roseburg's back here at home. They're hosting Grants Pass for their first league doubleheader Saturday. That'll start at noon here on the Score, and pregame coverage starting at 11:45. The 0-2 pitch. Strike three. Got him at the top of the zone there. Generous strikeout call for Brevin Harrison. Down looking goes Garcia. One away, and that's another strikeout for a Roseburg pitcher. Always brought to you by Chris Hubbard State Farm Insurance. When disaster strikes, it's good to have someone you can trust on your side. Call Chris with State Farm at 541-672-3301. New batter in the place of Zev Moses. We'll get a new man up to bat. That is Toa Sobi. He bats with one out and the base is loaded, swinging through the first pitch. Oh, 0-1 count. Outside and a nice backhanded stop for Bowers. Saves a possible run there. 1 ball, 1 strike for the new man at the plate. That is Toa Sobi. The 1-1. Missing low from Harrison. Sobi will take over from Moses, who was 0 for 2 in the game with a pair of strikeouts looking. He tries to make some contact here to see if he can drive in a run. A ground ball towards short. Could be possible too. Flip to Burke. Throw to first. Got it there in time. Double play to finish off the frame. And that will end it after a bases-loaded threat by South Eugene. They cannot convert here in the top of the 6th. It ends the frame. We continue on in the ballgame. Bottom of the 6th, Roseburg leading 10-1 as we continue in this league contest here on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
To us, pizza the way it ought to be isn't just our slogan. It's our promise and our passion to give you the best dining experience and the best tasting pizza you expect. For over 40 years, we've been making pizza the way it ought to be. Handmade with the freshest and finest ingredients. Our dough is made fresh daily, and we use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings edge to edge. There's pizza, and then there's Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
My wife and I moved to Oregon to raise a family, set our roots, and to have a lot of fun outdoors. We quickly realized that we needed a truck or a rig for the projects that we were doing in the backyard. When we were looking to find a place to finance our truck, we asked our patients, and everyone recommended Cascade Community Credit Union. It was so easy to work with Cascade. Everything was done via email, phone, and we didn't even need to go in. I can't wait to finish up the projects in the backyard, go on more adventures in our truck with our boys, and I look forward to working with Cascade again in the future.
Bottom of the 6th inning, Roseburg Indians baseball for you here on the Score. Our video stream is brought to you by the Cow Creek Tribe. Good evening to everybody. Thanks so much for joining us and sticking out here in this one. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and it does look like we will get a call to the pen once again for the South Eugene Axe as they trail 10-1. They go to the bullpen, and they will bring in the new man. And that is going to be Oliver Trent. And so Trent will take over for Dylan Stevens. Stevens ends up pitching 2 1/3 innings. In that time, he gave up 3 hits. He's credited with 2 of the runs that have come across. Out to bat for Roseburg, Jake Johnson. No, Brevin Harrison, who came in for Jake on the mound. He'll start things off at the plate. He takes the first pitch for strike 1. 0-1 delivery. Bounces outside. 1-1 count. So Jake exits the game. He went 0 for 1 with a couple of walks and a run scored. Well, the run was scored by Caden Austin. Harrison at the plate, his first at-bat of the night. Takes another pitch for a strike, has a 1-2 count. Brev is 0 for 3 on the season right now, looking for that first hit. A 1-2 delivery here by Trent. Breaking ball, fought it off right side, tailing to the right fielder. Ooh, nice play out there by Santiago. That ball looked like it almost was going to tail too far past him, like he might have overrun it. But he does get the glove out there just in time to snag that one out of the air. One away. And brings up Camden Hartzell.
New batter, number 4, Keegan Carpenter.
And with that, we'll get a change. Keegan Carpenter will bat. Lone outside. Keegan has started out the season. He is 2 for 6 on the year. He's got a single and a double to his tally. He's got a 1-0 count to start things off here. The 1-0 pitch is high. Roseburg is either 1 run or 3 outs away from wrapping this one up. Leading 10-1 in the 6th. Low and outside, 2-0, make that a 3-0 count. Carpenter looking to try and get on base. He came on as a courtesy runner during the ball game here, but his first chance to get in as a batter. 3-0 pitch is outside by quite a bit. He'll make his way down to first on the base on balls. And that is walk number 9 on the day for the Roseburg batters. They have capitalized on those free passes. 1 away, a man at first. Cash Richardson will be batting. He has walked once in this game. First time facing the new man on the mound, Oliver Trent. That pitch behind the head, he was lucky to get that bat down just in time. It'll be a 1-0 count here for Richardson. Cash starting at third base today with Jake Johnson on the mound. Takes a strike. He's got himself a 1-1 count. At first base, Keegan Carpenter. After his 1-out walk, that ball fouled away by Richardson. A ball and 2 strikes. Now the softball game got done so much faster than ours that softball players are now here at the ballpark to root on the baseball team. The 1-2 pitch here by Trent. Breaking ball stays elevated. 2-2 count. Dylan Stevens' final line, 2 1/3 innings, gave up 2 runs on 3 hits, 9 walks, and 1 strikeout. Sorry, not 9 walks. He had 3 walks. It's a pitch low, throw down to first, gets away into right field. Carpenter takes a look, but no chance to run. It was a back pick down that way as he got off on a pretty big secondary lead with the ball that almost got by the catcher. The throw then gets into right field, but Santiago doing a good job backing up the play out in right field. Full count pitch here. That ball fouled away. Staying alive will be Richardson. So it was 3 walks, 1 strikeout for Dylan Stevens, by the way. 9 was the total walks that South Eugene has issued, and I was talking and trying to write at the same time, and I wrote the wrong number. 3-2 pitch once again. Ground ball goes to third base, picked up, throw to second for 1, relay to first, in time to get him. And Roseburg will ground into a double play to finish things off here in the 6th inning. For Cash Richardson, that'll go down as a 5-4-3 double play. Roseburg needs just 3 outs, though, to finish this one off. They've been trying to get to that 10-run mark, but now they just need 3 outs to finish off the victory. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base for Roseburg in the 6th. Top of the 7th we go. Roseburg leads this one 10-1 on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
At Douglas County Farmers Co-op, we want your four-legged friends to be healthy and happy. That's why we stock a carefully curated selection of pet, equine, and livestock supplies. From the premium foods your pets crave to grooming and show supplies that help you shine in the show ring, you'll find it at Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Our knowledgeable staff are here to help with those tough pet and livestock care questions. Stop by or shop at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
I've always handled my own finances, but I need help.
Get a better understanding of your finances. At Palm Wealth Management, we care about your priorities and help restore financial security. Call Palm Wealth Management today.
Mountain Mike's, pizza the way it ought to be.
Out there to finish this one off, Brevin Harrison. Not a save situation. It'll be his second inning of work, and he's trying to get 3 outs to get Roseburg their second win of the season. Misses low on the first pitch here to start off the top of the 7th. The 1-0 count for Simon Warren, who will lead things off. Warren grounds one sharply foul for strike 1. So as mentioned, not a save opportunity here for Brevin Harrison. Came in with a significant lead, so he's just trying to hold this one. A swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Got fooled, did Warren. Chasing the ball in the dirt. He wanted to try and hold up, but it was too late by that time. And he has got himself a 1-2 count to lead things off in the 7th inning. At the plate today, Simon Warren, the DH, is 0 for 2. Swings through another one. That's strike 3, and a big punch out to start things here in the 7th inning for Harrison. That's his second in the game. One down, top of the order coming up. Top of the order has been dangerous, so it's nice to get the first out there against the 9-hitter. As we go back to the top, Landon Lay, he is 2 for 2 in the game with a couple of singles. Lone outside, he'll take ball 1 to start. He got hit by a pitch his last time up against Jake Johnson. That one hitting off of his helmet. The 1-0 pitch. Lay gets his 3rd hit of the game with a line drive to left field. He's looked good at the plate here today. Landon Lay, a returning all-conference selection last year, a second-team all-conference utility guy. He gets his 3rd hit of the game against Roseburg. And there's a runner on at first with 1 away.
Next batter is number 3, Tavo Santiago.
Santiago will bat. He's been pretty decent at the plate. He's gotten on base twice. Put the ball in play every time. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. Santiago reached on an error in his first at-bat, but then had an RBI single in the 3rd and grounded out to short. His 0-1 pitch. That one fouled off for strike 2. At first base, Landon Lay. Been on base all 4 times. Hit by a pitch once and then 3 singles. 0-2 delivery for Harrison. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And another big strikeout for Brevin Harrison. His 3rd in just an inning and 2/3. There's 2 down here in the 7th inning. Strikeouts brought to you by Chris Hubbard, State Farm Insurance. Visit chrisinsures.com for a quote today. 2 down, runner at first. First pitch swinging for Matt Ledoux is out to right field. Dane St. Clair is there for the catch right at the foul line, and that will finish off the ball game. Roseburg polishes off a 10-1 win as they pick up a victory in the opener to Southwest Conference play. Final score is 10-1. We'll take a look at all the final numbers for you when we come back after this 3-minute timeout. We'll have your postgame show to wrap it up for you here today from Champion Car Wash Field here on 541radio.com and on the score 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Successful companies have a very important secret. Good advertising works and makes them money. That's why your business should contact Lotus Media Group. Let us help you cash in with multimedia advertising. Multiple touches from Douglas County's only Google certified partner and most effective advertising platform. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen. LotusMediaGroupLLC.com.
To us, pizza the way it ought to be isn't just our slogan. It's our promise and our passion to give you the best dining experience and the best tasting pizza you expect. For over 40 years, we've been making pizza the way it ought to be. Handmade with the freshest and finest ingredients. Our dough is made fresh daily, and we use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings edge to edge. There's pizza, and then there's Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
For over 100 years, Douglas County Farmers Co-op has been serving the needs of farmers, ranchers, and homeowners throughout Southern Oregon. Here, everyone is welcome. When you shop with us, you can expect good people, good products, and good advice. No membership needed. Just bring yourself, and we'll provide the expertise and products you need to tackle your next project. Douglas County Farmers Co-op, where everyone is welcome to shop.
Really hungry. So
yeah, me too.
And I should have gotten my sweater on, but I realized it was going to be this cold. So my mom's at the park with my brother right now. So
all right, have a good night.
Yeah, I'll try and make it for the doubleheader hopefully Saturday.
Okay, sounds good, man.
Yeah. Hey, big win tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
What are they going to be in conference now?
They'll be 1-0. That was the first game.
Wow.
All right, man. Have a good night.
You too.
We'll see you later.
See ya.
He found me on Facebook and he messages me all the time. Back here at Champion Car Wash Field to wrap this one up for you here this evening. The Roseburg Indians will get the victory on top of South Eugene. Final score 10-1. Joey Keyran here with you, the post-game show. We just get things started here. Let's take a look at the numbers here today. For South Eugene, 1 run on 7 hits. They had 1 error and it left 8 men on base. For Roseburg, 10 runs on 6 hits, 1 error, and 5 men left on. Picking up the win is going to be Jake Johnson. He pitches 5 innings, gave up 1 run on 4 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, 1 hit batter. Brevin Harrison pitched the final 2 innings, it was not a save situation. Taking the loss is Matt Ledoux, who pitches 2 2/3 innings, gave up 7 runs on 3 hits, 5 walks, 2 strikeouts, and 1 hit batter. Many of those are probably going to be earned runs. There was only just the 1 error in the game for South Eugene. Also pitching today, Dylan Stevens and Oliver Trent. Roseburg took a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first. It came on a wild pitch, scoring Dane St. Clair, who had the first hit of the game for Roseburg. South Eugene would tie it up in the top of the 3rd inning. That came on a single by Tavo Santiago, scoring Landon Lay, who reached on a leadoff single in the 3rd inning. It was tied 1-1 going to the bottom of the 3rd when Roseburg put up 7 runs as they sent 11 hitters to the plate, score 7 runs against Matt Ledoux. That frame, he had a number of walks. There was an error and 3 hits in that inning as well, including a leadoff triple by Brooks Avery. Roseburg added 2 more runs in the bottom of the 5th. They got close to that mercy rule victory, but just could not get that final run to make it a 10-run lead. But they finish it off 10-1, your final score here today. Again, the winning pitcher, Jake Johnson. The loss goes to Matt Ledoux. Taking a look at the hitting numbers, 7 hits in the game for South Eugene, 3 of them for Landon Lay. He had 3 singles in this one, also hit by a pitch, gets on base all 4 times. Santiago had a single to drive in a run. Also with a hit, Gavin Bush, a single in the 6th inning against Brevin Harrison. Brandon Van Ryzen he had a single against Harrison as well. That was on an infield single. And then, let's see here. There should be one more base hit. It was the double by Gabe Garcia back in the 2nd inning. Those were all the hits in the game for South Eugene. On the other side for Roseburg, 2 for 3 on the day for Brooks Avery with a triple and a double. He drove in 2 runs, also had a walk and scored a run. Paxton Burke goes 1 for 3 on the day with 3 RBI. He did have a walk. Dane St. Clair was 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs scored. Jake Johnson was 0 for 1. He walked twice. Let's see here. A double for Brayton Loomis in there. In the 5th inning, he would score a run. And that is pretty much most of it. Amos Bowers and Heath King also getting on base. That resulted in runs. So did Cash Richardson. A walk got him on base, and that resulted in a run for Roseburg as well. Indians will go to 2-2 on the season. They're now 1-0 in conference play. For South Eugene, they're 1-2 on the year. Now 0-1 in Southwest Conference play. Coming up next for the Willamette Wolverines, for the South Eugene Axe, will be the Willamette Wolverines in a home game there at South Eugene High School this Saturday. Doubleheader, game 1 starting at noon. For Roseburg, their next matchup is the Grants Pass Cavemen. They'll be hosting GP for a doubleheader on Saturday, also starting at noon here at Champion Car Wash Field. Feel good about the opportunity to play here at home. That will definitely give us a boost, but weather isn't necessarily supposed to be the most friendly here as the week wears on. So hopefully we can find a break in the weather to get in some baseball coming up on Saturday. 50% chance for rain Saturday with temperatures in the low 50s. Much different than what we saw here today. Hopefully for Roseburg, the results, though, will be the same. Final score again, 10-1. Roseburg gets the win over South Eugene. We appreciate everybody for tuning in to join us for today's game. Want to say thanks to Athletic Director Adam Blue, Head Coach Troy Thompson, the entire Roseburg baseball program for allowing us to bring you another season of Roseburg baseball here on The Score. Want to say thanks to the South Eugene Axe for making the trek down here today. Great ball game, and appreciate all the help in the pregame, getting ready for the matchup from their coaching staff. Back in the studio running the radio production today, big thank you to Connor McLean, and as always, a thanks to you, the fan, for tuning in for today's broadcast, because, of course, without you, I'm just a guy sitting here talking to myself. I'm Joey Kieran. We'll do it all again on Saturday when Roseburg welcomes in the Grants Pass Cavemen for a doubleheader. We'll have coverage of both of those games, with Game 1 starting at noon and pregame coverage starting at 11:45. You can find the game streaming live for free online at 541radio.com, presented by the Cow Creek Tribe, or you can catch the action right here on Douglas County's home for sports. It's The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.